Have you ever felt your heart soften just from the simple gaze of a cat? Seattle. A quiet April night. The rain fell in a soft hush, like unspoken sorrows on a window pane. In a narrow alley, under the muted glow of a street lamp, a small gray cat huddled beside a trash bin. Its green eyes held a shimmering light, a tiny brave flame against the cold darkness. Just a few blocks away, at the Sunrise Haven nursing home, 82-year-old Eleanor stirred awake. Her heartbeat was slow, almost still. A loneliness, vast as the night, settled around her. And then, a meow. Not a plea, not a demand. Just a gentle, steady whisper. As if a small soul knew, before anyone else, that a heart was yearning for a place to belong. Sunrise Haven nestled in a peaceful Seattle neighborhood, where old maple trees and the gentle slopes of wooden roofs whispered tales of simpler times. It was a small nursing home, more like a close-knit family. A place where smiles were always offered, though sometimes shadowed by the quiet worries of tomorrow. Eleanor, a woman who once filled classrooms with stories, a lover of roses and the intimacy of handwritten letters, now held onto memories through faded photographs. Each night missing the distant laughter of her grandchildren. Harold, a retired veteran, often woke in a cold sweat. The echoes of gunfire still rang in his ears, and all he longed for was one night of true, dreamless sleep. Maria, a young nurse and single mom, moved with quiet determination through her long shifts, counting every penny to afford her 8-year-old son's asthma medication. A silent prayer always on her lips. Then, Sage simply arrived. A small gray cat slipping silently through the old iron gate. No meowing for attention. No demanding cries. Just a quiet, unassuming presence. Maria gently scooped the cat into her arms and named him Sage. "The wise one," she whispered. It felt like a missing piece had finally found its perfect place. Sage didn't perform grand gestures, but every small act felt like a quiet form of healing. He would curl up beside the old radio when Harold jolted awake, the soft jazz a silent reassurance. He'd nuzzle Eleanor's frail hand each afternoon, as if whispering, "You are not alone in this." Maria started capturing these moments on her phone, not seeking fame, just wanting to hold on to these small sparks of warmth, to share them with family and friends. A quiet cat appearing in the very places where hearts felt most empty. The videos unexpectedly resonated. They touched millions of hearts. TikTok, Instagram, family chats. Sage's gentle presence spread everywhere. The comfort cat, bringing a sense of peace without uttering a single word. Comments poured in. I cried listening to Eleanor's stories. Just that little head bump. It reminded me so much of my own mom. But life's challenges didn't fade. Sunrise Haven faced mounting financial pressures. Maria worked extra shifts, her exhaustion a constant companion, her heart aching for the moments she was missing with her son. And Sage, though deeply loved, was still, in the eyes of the world, just a cat, until Sarah walked through their doors. A young journalist, initially planning to write about the struggles of the elderly. But she found herself drawn to the quiet knowing in a small gray cat's eyes. Sarah posted a short video. Sage nestled beside Eleanor. Soft, acoustic music, playing like a childhood lullaby. Within 2 days, it had soared to over 20 million views. The story spread far beyond Seattle. It wasn't just about a cat anymore. It was about connection. And just as the spotlight shone its brightest, something utterly unexpected unfolded. One peaceful afternoon, as the rain finally gave way to a hesitant sunlight, a man stood at the Sunrise Haven gate. His coat was worn. His hand clutched a faded photograph. A man and a small gray cat, beside a tiny, flickering campfire. "My name's Thomas," he said softly, his voice a little rough. "I saw Sage online. He'd been a mechanic once, had a family. Then he'd lost everything, finding himself living under the cold shelter of a bridge. Sage had been his only constant companion, A hush fell over the staff. A worried whisper rippled through the halls. If Sage has an owner, will he have to leave us? Harold's grip tightened on the armrest. A silent fear mirrored in every heart. Maria said nothing. Her love for Sage felt as deep as a mother's. But Thomas hadn't come to reclaim his friend. He simply wanted to see him, to offer a silent thank you. There was a night I almost gave up, he choked out, his voice thick with emotion. But Sage, he gently pawed at my hand, like he was saying, "Hold on. You're not alone," Eleanor whispered, her voice frail but firm. Family isn't about holding on too tight. It's about opening your heart and letting it find where it truly belongs. And then, Maria noticed a tiny scar on Sage's ear, shaped like a delicate S. Thomas nodded, his eyes glistening. That scar is clear. It was a promise that Sage would always find his way back to where he was needed most. Sunrise Haven opened its heart wider. They invited Thomas to stay, not just as a helper, but as a part of their growing, unconventional family. Saturday nights, Thomas would sit by the small fireplace, sharing stories, tales of resilience, of the unwavering companionship of Sage, and of what it meant to feel loved when you had nothing left to offer the world. Harold would often smile, a genuine smile that had been absent for far too long. Eleanor, holding a cherished photo of her grandson, would look at Thomas and Sage, a soft light returning to her eyes, like glimpsing the rose garden of her youth once more. And Sage remained, simply Sage, nuzzling Eleanor's hand in quiet comfort, sleeping trustingly at Thomas's feet each night, curling beside Harold's chair, a silent guardian through the long hours. And his eyes, those soft, knowing green flames, never dimmed. The story of Sage traveled even further. ABC, CBS hailed him as a tiny beacon of compassion in a hurried world. A new program, Sage's Light, was born, bringing the quiet comfort of animals to nursing homes, offering solace to hundreds of hearts in need. A community fundraiser blossomed, raising over $2 million, helping Sunrise Haven and countless other similar places continue their vital work. But more profound than the grand gestures were the small, quiet ripples of change. Maria, holding her son close, would whisper, "See, sweetie, even a little cat can teach us the biggest lessons about love." Thomas, for the first time in years, truly felt like he belonged. And someone out there, listening to this now, might just pause, a gentle smile touching their lips, and think, "Today, I'm going to do something kind." Some small souls, like Sage, come into our lives not to change the world in dramatic ways, but to gently remind us that even the smallest flicker of compassion can illuminate the darkest night. All it truly takes is a simple glance, a tender touch, and a heart willing to love. If this moved you, subscribe for more.